Welcome to Saving the Cabin. I'm Candace, and today I figure it's just going to be a quick little video of I'm just going to be removing the chinking on this wall and that wall. I will stop right at the side door. The chinking in here is different than the other room. The other room, the kitchen, when I did that wall, the chinking kind of met and made an H in the middle, if that makes sense. So they put cement on one side that kind of gooed in. They put cement on the other side that gooed in. And it just made a connection enough to where even though the cement was loose and able to move around, it still was a pain in my butt to remove because of the connecting piece. And here, things are a little different. I can just walk up to just about any of it and pull a piece off. So I'm hoping this means this wall will go a whole lot quicker. I'm going to remove the inside and the outside. I am going to be doing this entire room, but I'm going to start with the front of the cabin, or the entry point for us, which is really the side from the road, just because I need that mental walk up and it looks pretty. I mean, it's logically, that is the reason I am starting with this wall. I will not be putting the chinking back in. One, because I still have to order more of it. Two, the beams that are up here that you can see, there's cement around them. I have to remove the cement there. One of these beams has to be removed because it is the majority of the way rotten through. Someone had suggested, just putting another beam up against it, but that means I have to cut a hole through these logs, because you cannot attach to the faceplate. You can't put pressure on the inside of these logs because they're made to stack with the weight going down. So you will damage structurally the building, the integrity of it. So we have to replace this beam. There's not a get around it. And the beam right here and right here are dipped. They, from both sides to the middle, they sag by 2.5 inches. So they won't be replaced, but they will have jacks put underneath them. And over minimum 2 weeks, they will be straightened back out. And then running all the way across the opposite direction, we are putting what's called a summer beam. And basically what that summer beam is just a middle support for the room to stop it from being able to sag again. Sadly, to be able to do that, we will have to cut into one of the logs to be able to feed that beam through, because again, we can't just attach to the face of it. But it's just really a necessity. That way we can get everything straightened out. Upstairs will be level instead of the big bowl. And this room already has so many holes in it. So much cold is coming in from upstairs. Having this open and exposed is not going to make a difference. The squirrels already live in here. Up right on the other side of the stairs, there's a squirrel nest. In the kitchen, in between the dining room and the kitchen itself, it's a squirrel nest in the wall. Having itty bitty gaps this big, I'm not worried about, since there's already gaps down at the floor at the door where the animals could come in. What's one more hole? So basically, today is removing chinking, or cement. It's not real chinking. It just fits in that chink gap. So let's start pulling out some cement. We put liquid cement in. Like the caulking type, the glue. So I started chipping away off camera. Do you see this? This wall is not attached by anything going up. All these blocks, of course I have not removed this one piece of cement yet because the whole wall started to move. If you can see, it's sticking out now. And like, there's a lip down here of 3/4 of an inch. None of these are attached. They are just there. Isn't that awesome? 4 blocks attached to nothing. So this part is just going to sit here until I have another hand, because I can't get both sides at the same time to put in the right spot and jack it up and put little blocks in. I guess I'll work on the other wall. You all know that I believe in documenting everything, all the emotions. I don't sugarcoat. I show you guys what real life is like. And I have to say, right now, while I sit out in the cold with a runny nose, I think this is my first time truly feeling just pissed. I'm so mad at the way the guy put this cabin together. And I just don't get why he did things the way he did. I'm aware that my dad was an architect. My mom was a genius. And a little bit of it trickled down to where things make sense in my head. The guy that did this cabin, when he redid it in, I think it was 1981, from what I can tell, had no forethought whatsoever for the future. I think this is my first time truly being pissed at him. And why? I'm removing the chinking. My goal was, here's the front door, both sides of the front door, and wrapping around the side porch over here to that door. Because all that chinking kind of is connected, I wanted to do it all at the same time. So this is just one big chunk. It's definitely the biggest chunk of this side of the cabin, this log part. Because remember, I have technically 2 log cabins. I had the kitchen, and then I had the living room area. I'm lost for words. I know I'm drawing this out to some of you, but let me show you up close. I'm drawing it out because I'm trying not to scream. Let's just be honest. Do we see these gaps? All the way up. This piece should be flush right up to here. All the way up, all the way down. See this gap? It should not be here. He cemented it in place because he did it wrong. All the way down. Why? Because this beam right here is connected to this one. This beam right here is connected. He connected this wall to those beams, and it is pulling the cabin apart. And like this beam right here, from what I can peek through, is not attached. I'm going to take you inside and show you, because I just did this so I could verify this beam literally is free floating. I hammered and the whole thing moved over some. And Amazon's here, and I have to not look like a lunatic. I can shift that one in. Do you see? This was where the cement cut off, and now it's back behind it. That much it moved because it's not attached. And I'm looking at this window. Literally, the window is just set into place. There is no frame. Why? There's no frame to this window. It is just set in here like the other window. Like right there. that 2x4 going down is what's holding up this wall. So my plan this morning had been to just get the last bits of the Chinkina out, take the blower to it and remove all the dusty parts to it, and clean up the logs a little. Nothing major, just get some of the vines and stuff off this morning. And then this afternoon, I was going to fix the other window and put the shims in between and sure that side up and put the frame in for that window. Because now I need to remove this window, which half of it's broken, by the way. On the inside, they have wood boarded up in where the glass should be on the lower half. So apparently it had been like that for a while. Maybe someone tried to break into it. They can do that right now. All they'll get is tools. Again, we have a lot of tools right now, but there's not a whole lot to take. All right, I'm thinking through it as I'm filming here. So I guess I'm gonna go take an early lunch so I can mentally regroup. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna shim up that other window or wall and put the frame in for the window so everything's secure again, so that wall won't fall. Story of this cabin right now. And then go do mom stuff. Fiona has tumbling today, so we have to go do that, and then I have to go do a field trip meeting for Fiona's big field trip, because we're going all the way to Chattanooga to the zoo, or not the zoo, the aquarium, Ruby Falls, a ferry boat ride through the river, which is funny because that's the river that Jeremy dives in, and he's gotten a warning about, like, you can't remove anything from the water there or you'll go to jail. There's a whole thing there. But so yeah, by the time you see this video, the other video for that window should be out, fixing that wall. And I'm venting to you guys because I need someone to vent to. So forgive me. Yeah, I show real life. The ups, the downs, the falls, like falling into the walls. As frustrated as I get, I still am able to tell myself that it's fixable. It's not something that can't be fixed. I know this. I will sit while I eat lunch and think through the process to be able to fix this wall so I can start cleaning up the wall, because it'll be so pretty once it's chinked. I just keep telling myself that. It's on repeat. It's a lot of planning steps out. Like, you think you need to do this step so you can do this step so you can do this step. Like, when Jeremy gets back, he's going to help me put another support beam underneath the floor where there's a little bit of a dip and it's extra jiggly when two of us are walking through. So we're going to put another beam under, kind of like where you saw me with the crawl space. I had mentioned something about putting a beam there. Before I do the chinking, need to do that because I don't want anything to put, you know, pressure on the chinking I've already done. I want things to have already be in their place. And then we need to, once that's done, because it's going to be in that same kind of spot, start over the next couple of weeks lifting up the rafters in the living room because they're bowed, and we need to be able to put what they call a summer beam that runs the opposite direction in, just to get rid of the bow. It's not structurally crucial. It just makes us have a flatter floor. And of course, those beams we are going to try to straighten out over a minimum of 2 weeks. Nothing rushed because we don't want to crack the beams. I have been trying to find a replacement beam for one of the ones that has a little bit of rot to it. And we're going to have to do a different type of patching to it that will sure it up, but and get rid of the rot, because I can't find a beam the right size. I found an 8x8, and I need those beams that are there are 4.5 by 5s. But so I would have to buy a $321 without tax beam and then take it to a sawmill and pay for them to cut it down to the right size. I think that's a waste of money. So we are going to do it the way they originally would with a log cabin to be able to shore it up. But that's for a different video. And as I'm thinking about it, I think this is the end of this video. I had the chinking removed. You guys, I'll do a quick walkthrough so you can see what it looks like inside and out with the chinking out of it. Or cement. Yeah, because this is going to be, at this point, 2 months of a video, I'm just going to call it quits. I know some of you really do like the longer videos that are beginning to end. Scout is not happy with the fact that the video is taking so long. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I think after I do the window video, this video will be coming out, and I don't know why you guys need to know that. I'm just letting you know. So let me just show you guys the final walkthrough of no cement, minus this wall, because remember, this wasn't supposed to be part of the video. I was just removing this part right here because it was going to be in the way of me being able to chink. So let's see what it looks like. All right, so you can still see there's cement up on the walls, and it's kind of discolored things. I will be cleaning that off, so don't worry about that. We will find the pretty logs again. My frame is gone on the door. And all over here, even up top, you can see where the original rafters had been, and they spaced them out farther. I don't know why. And then this is what I find neat, is when there isn't a light on in here, how much light comes through some of these gaps. I find it pretty cool. I do have to clean up all the cement off the floor, though. But, oh, look, I don't have to open the door. I can just step over. Whoop. And that's this wall. Again, all the chinking's out, just the debris, the pastiness left on the side of the logs. But that'll get cleaned up. And this spot right here, I am going to be going out into the woods to where the blacksmith's cabin is and seeing, you know, maybe there's a piece of wood in there that's still salvageable and not rotten that can help me fix the face of this. So thank you for joining me for my rant, my challenges. This video definitely is trying for my patience, to say the least. But there's I can just see what it will look like in my head when it's done, and it'll be worth it. I tell myself that. It's not as bad as it seems. Well, I'll take that back. It may be as bad as I seem, but I refuse to believe it. And I can just picture being up on this porch, and over here will be my garden. By the way, I changed where my garden's going to go. I really need to do a live and talk to you guys about that. I might do that later, but we'll see. And over here, this side will be for my chickens. But you can see how much sunlight over here gets versus up behind the RV. It really gets crappy sunlight. And I think that's why, like, my romaine didn't do well. It turned to mush. I didn't get a tomato until September. It just doesn't get enough light. But out here, lots of light. So thanks for joining along on this crazy ride. I know some people get frustrated watching because they think I should be doing it differently, or they have different opinions on things, or some people just think that I'm to this or to that. But I really do appreciate that you guys still watch, even if you don't agree with how I do things sometimes, or if you do agree. I appreciate that you guys watch, and I appreciate you guys. So, bye guys.